Aquarius, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for late November 2022. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business, as always, and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we could dip our toes into energy and see what's going on for the lovely Aquarius collective. I hope you're all doing fantastic and fabulous. I'm sure you are. Let's get it going, oh my guides. Talk to me. And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full tarot reading itself, and at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean in on, which is always intriguing. But let's get this card out here. What's up with Aquarius, please? I always like to start us off on this note. Okay, we have the Fool card showing up, and I've been seeing similar themes through a lot of the air signs, like this new journey, new venture type of vibe. Now, this in general is a pretty good card, and we'll break it down. Before we do, though, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the November subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. Also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, you know I'd greatly appreciate it. But into the reading, enough of the promo. Have a little look here at this card. Now, in this oracle deck, there's a lot of little fine details, and on the floor of this card, this woman is dressed up like the Fool, and there's literally Fool cards on here. So we think of those same archetypes. For a lot of you, this could represent a very important Aries or a connection to an Aries when we see this. But the themes of the Fool: new journeys, new ventures, new cycles. This is the protagonist of the tarot deck, right? Like this is somebody about to bound off on some sort of adventure. So a lot of you could be in that mode where like there's something fresh, something new about to kick in. Another vibe we pick up with the Fool card is a little bit of a warning against being too spontaneous. Okay, that is a vibe, because if you know what the Fool card looks like, it's usually this person about to walk off a damn cliff. So don't be too spontaneous in these times when the Fool card shows up. But there might be something new and good coming into your life for sure. Let's get into tarot. Like I said, we're not going to spend too much time on that. That doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a footnote. Let's get into this. I'm going to get you 3 in the upright before we get that intuitive, juicy stuff. Let's shuffle it up here for Aquarius, please. See what's going on for my friends. So, last week's reading, it was titled simply A Chaotic Situation. So hopefully you haven't been dealing with too much chaos, too much craziness, because that was a vibe I was picking up last week. Like, things might have felt like they were scattered all over the place. The week before that, the reading was titled A Game Changer. So like 2 weeks in a row, there's been these really unique readings for the Aquarius collective. So we're going to see what we have for you this week. Let's get it going. As I always say, you know, you just take this how it fits for you. It's not one size fits all. There's a lot of Aquariuses out there. So let's get 3 cards going for Aquarius, because we could be looking at your energy or someone else's around you. You just take it how it hits. And we are starting with a bang here. We have Judgment in position number 1, Plutonian, change-based type of vibes. So we're starting with double action, because with the Fool card as the oracle, now this, we're starting with a bang, okay? And I always say the Judgment card is explosive in nature, and I'll speak about that a little more. We got the Page of Cups in position number 2. We're talking new. Once again, we could also be speaking about communication. I could already tell this is going to be a super interesting one, Aquarius. Let's get one more. Yeah, that card just did like a flip in my hands, but didn't come out. There it is. Okay, so we do have the 5 of Swords here on the back end. That does raise an eyebrow, so to speak. But we're going to go through it. Let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get that juicy, intuitive stuff. A couple things we might have to watch out for here. But in position number 1, we have Judgment. Like I was saying, this is a very Plutonian type of card. Speaking of transformation, change, big shifts in life, to me this card can be literal judgments, making a decision, making a judgment call, of course. But since it is so karmic and change-based, it could be speaking about those things. Heavy action, heavy movement, and transformation with this card. Okay, but some of you might just be making a firm decision, judgment call. But that card to me has heavy action involved. I don't want to overcomplicate it because it's a powerful energy, a powerful major arcana. Moving over, we have the Page of Cups. Now, this could represent a child in your life. This could represent youth, somebody you might have an age difference with sometimes, water sign. It could be a whole list of different things. But once again, students learning new things, new skills, for a lot of you, that could be really in the cards, literally, like with the Oracle card, now this. But this one in particular, out of all the pages, is one of emotional outpourings, getting something off their chest. So there could be important talks, serious talks, or venting sessions when this guy shows up. It's also creative, right? Imaginative. It's not a bad energy whatsoever. But as we get to the back end of this spread, we have the Five of Swords. Now, this card isn't a complete wash. This card could just be somebody with a lot of determination. They're going to do what they got to do to get where they want to go, right? But at its basis, this card could be somebody that's a little bit cold, a little bit selfish, a little cold-hearted when we have this card. It could represent conflicts, right? People fighting, butting heads. Like, it could be really rough. When I see this card, I think of people that are narcissistic in nature. So for some of you, this could be an individual in your life that's narcissistic, or this could be a big warning about conflict that we might have to take a look at. Specifically, when we have outpourings of emotion and we have action and change and transformation, I really want to keep my eye on that. But for some of you, it might just be your determination being tested, right? Or you just being one-track minded. No, I'm going to do what I got to do. I'm going to get where I want to go. So we're going to see how this all plays out, Aquarius. Let's dive deeper. We're going to jump in and clarify. All right, let's get a good shuffle here for my Aquarius friends. See what's going on, my guides. Talk to me. What do we got? And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot. Because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's see what's up with Judgment. And as always, if you read tarot yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why this box is here. If you're feeling any messages that you want to give to Aquarius, you can drop it right down in the comments. I don't mind at all. You won't be stepping on my toes. All right, Judgment time. Really want to get over to that Five of Swords too, but why is Judgment here? We'll get there all in good time, all in due time. All right, this is possibly something getting forced through. Okay, yeah, if you run into like barriers or something, or someone gets in your way, like I'm catching somebody like breaking the damn walls down. We have the Six of Swords in reverse here. Usually a card of action, right? With the front end. On the back end, it's something that's not moving, not staying still. So I could feel somebody like exploding through some sort of barrier, or like if you feel like somebody's trying to limit you or something's trying to limit you, it's like steamrolling through. Like think of a football player in full pads, like breaking through drywall. That's the energy I'm picking up here. So we'll see when we get to the back end, because if that's the case, this could be a warning about conflict for sure. But I'm getting somebody like being firm and making a final decision as well, right? Because remember, this is immovable. The clarifier, it's planted, it's not moving. This could literally be judgment calls. So a lot of you could be in a place where you're making a final decision or a firm decision. If not, I'm catching like that forceful push. So I want to see how the rest of this plays out. So it's either one or the other there. We'll talk about it more during the recap. It's an interesting dynamic of energy. Now wouldn't be a good time for somebody to try to get in the way of your plans as well. Let's go in on that Page of Cups. Or like if you're connected to somebody that's very stubborn, like don't make it seem like you're getting in the way of their plans, if that makes sense. This is a very interesting energy here in the front end. So let's go in on that Page of Cups. Very forceful, somebody very forceful. Yeah, there might be somebody you're just really not wanting to speak to. I'm getting two things here. We have the Page of Pentacles in reverse under this Page of Cups. There could be somebody like there's big communication issues here. Two people that are on two possible different wavelengths here, like where you might want to talk to someone, but they don't want to talk to you, or vice versa. Like that's a vibe I'm picking up here with the double pages. For another portion of you, there could be something you've recently given up on as well, whether a path or a task or an idea that you were in the planning stages of. You might have just said, you know what, no, I'm going to pivot. I'm going to go this route instead. Like, so it's interesting, especially when we have something of a possible judgment call. So there could be something you pivoted on, made a change, changed your mind, of course. I'm getting that vibe of someone changing your mind, but this could be communication issues. And when we have that energy in the beginning, the forceful energy, now this, and the Five of Swords on the back end, we really want to walk lightly. That's how I feel here. We'll talk about it more during the recap, because I feel like we're getting so many layers here, Aquarius. Because this, like I said, it doesn't all have to be you. This could be other people showing up. But there could be just like two people on different wavelengths here, right in the middle. Like they just don't see eye to eye. And let's see what's up with that Five of Swords. If not, it's making a pivot, making a change. So why is the Five of Swords here? Only take it if it hits, my friends. Yeah, stopping something cold. We have the World card underneath the Five of Swords. Some of you might be very disillusioned about the state of the world today. That's a vibe I'm picking up. But for another portion of you, if we're talking about a judgment call, a decision, like you might be deciding to end something, whether it's something involving another person, whether it's a behavior within yourself, you might be identifying a very specific problem and saying, hey, that's not the vibe. Like, this isn't going to work. This isn't the vibe. Like, that's got to go, whether an individual or, you know, a behavior. But once again, I'm picking up here, if none of that hits, the Five of Swords with the World, like, I'm thinking it's like a cold world out there, right? Some of you might be looking on the world like, it's a damn knife fight out here. It's a jungle, right? Like, that's the vibe I'm just picking up. So do with that what you will. The state of the world and world events that could be happening could be like messing with you in some sort of way. So I would try to not really watch the news or pay attention to high headlines in this time, okay? Because you might be extra influenced in your day-to-day life by these things, okay? So it could be a little warning there. Aquarius, so much going on here. Let's go through and do a quick recap, because like I said, I'm talking all these different messages. Each alignment had multiple. But if you kindly look in the box, position number 1, before we do the shadow card, we have Judgment and the Six of Swords in reverse. So initially it was giving me the vibe of like somebody just barreling through, very forceful. I used the example of a football player in full pads blasting through sheetrock. So don't try to, you know, it would be smart for someone to not get in your way in this time. If there's something you specifically want to do or specifically want, this is somebody's mind made up, mindset. And yeah, it could also be a final judgment call as well. Like, you might make your mind up about something, make a decision and say, no, that's it. This is it. And that's how it's going to go. Moving to the center, we have the Page of Cups with the Page of Pentacles in reverse. I was picking up the vibe of two people in possible way different modes, wavelengths here. Communication issues where either you want to talk to them, they don't want to talk to you, or vice versa. But another vibe I was getting here was a pivot, a change, where you may have like started walking a certain path or wanting to do something, and I'm going to change it. I'm going to do this instead. And that might be for the better. Conflict possibly here with all the stuff we got going on. There's like an overarching, so beware of that. On the back end though, we have the Five of Swords with the World. Two main messages I was getting here is there's something you might identify in the coming days and weeks that is just not matching the vibe. It's not passing the vibe check whatsoever. And it might be something that just needs to see its way out, whether it's an individual, whether it's a behavior, whether it's something within yourself or someone else. Like, it's just not matching the vibe. But also the main thing I was picking up was like someone being very disillusioned by the state of the world today, world events, things like that. And it would be a good time to not really watch news or pay attention to headlines, because that could be affecting you more than you think. But let's get into shadow. Please take a screenshot of that if you want. And I will say there's karmic cards here, beginning and ending the spread with Judgment and the World, very karmic. But yeah, we're going to get you one shadow card here. Let's see what's in the shadows for Aquarius. Very interesting reading, my friends. That's for sure. Going on for Aquarius. And yeah, I'm using the Shadowland Tarot for this portion again. I always like using this at the end. It's a perfect little cherry on top of every reading, right? Whether it's something that's been in the shadows a while, something that's new. Okay, we have the Two of Cups showing up in the shadows. Something about interpersonal relationships. Now, this does not just have to be romance. I mean, you see the seahorses there kissing each other. But when I see Two of Cups, I think of partnerships, right? Someone that you share a very close emotional attachment and bond to. So when I see that showing up in the shadows, there might be a certain relationship in your life that Spirit might be wanting you to highlight. Is this a healthy bond? Is this not? Do I give more to this than that person? Vice versa. This could be something that Spirit wants you to pay attention to. Is there equality here? But once again, this All twos are cards of being at a fork in the road and making a decision, making a choice, like we saw in the main part of the spread as well. So be decisive. Don't be indecisive in this time. If you're going to do something, do it. If you're going to make a pivot, pivot. And that's what I got, my friends. So Aquarius, that's what I have for you this week. Please don't click away just yet. I'm going to give you the details of the November subscriber surprise. If you got your name in for the October subscriber surprise, the winners will be announced the day after Halloween, November 1st. But for November, I'm giving away 2 copies of the beautiful Vice Versa Tarot once again. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, first, you must be subscribed, which I'm sure you already are. And second, let me know down in the comments, what are you most grateful for? 'Tis the season, am I right, my friends? That's all you need to do to enter. And at the end of November, I'll announce the winners in my community tab. My friends, as always, much love, and I'll see you next time.